When we first got up, I wasn't sure what to expect, and it was a little bit bumpy, but it was much smoother than I expected. So thinking about, people during World War II on the plane, I felt like, okay, like this is something that, they were going up and they were about to go and do something for their country and all this. And it was cool to think about that as we were going up.
Today we're going to be flying on the Douglas C-47, C for cargo, and the C-47 is a derivative of the Douglas DC-3, which is one of the most significant aircraft ever built in terms of its impact on industry.
Well, this airplane was so flexible and so easy to operate and so economical that it became the backbone of many airlines after the war. They started service with this airplane. They all started with the DC-3. That was their first money-making airplane.
Well, when the war threatened, the government bought over 11,000 of these airplanes. And during the war, they flew in all the theaters by all the Allies in every mission you could imagine, but most notably, it carried paratroopers.
On our flight today, our aircraft is configured as it would have been in the 1940s near the end of the war. The seating is exactly the way it would have been to carry troops. We were flying several teachers that, through the generosity of a grant, has afforded them the opportunity to come and see what it's like to fly in a World War II era aircraft.
Let's do it.
Have a seat anywhere there's a cushion.
I do think that you can read about things, but until you experience them, you don't have that full understanding. So being able to tell my students more based off my experience, I think will help them understand what it's really like.
The sounds and the smells and the feeling of the motion of it was a brand new experience for me. I'd only been on commercial airlines before, and sitting in the bucket seats or the indentations and thinking about the soldiers that have sat there before, and it was a very moving experience, very powerful.
This was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I've actually seen this plane flying over my house, and to actually be on the plane was incredible. It made me think of a lot of things, like who would have flown that plane when it was built, and just the science and engineering that went into making it. It was an outstanding experience. I'm grateful for it.
Next to attending space camp as a teacher, this has probably been the most rewarding experience that I've done. And I'm very excited to share it with my students and staff members as well.
Well, I think about, again, the history part of this and how we have the technology of planes today and how things have changed over time. So I would love to get into the development and the timeline of airplanes even, and thinking about how over time things can change and things can improve. I also think about the engineering aspect of it. I mean, having kids build airplanes, like I'm thinking of all this stuff that we can do.
I'm hoping to recruit some pilots because I think there's a shortage of pilots, so hopefully it'll spark an interest since they're so young and only in 4th grade, and maybe they'll want to become a pilot.
It was fantastic to be here at Willow Run to actually touch and be part of the history, and rather than just reading it in a book or reading it on the internet, to actually be in the space, it comes alive.
Well, when I get excited about something, my kids get excited about something, so sharing my experience with them before they get to come here, they'll just be so excited. They'll love it. They'll love it.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
I can't wait to bring you to Yankee Air Museum.